This Seahorse tank is coming along nice, and in today's video we're going to aquascape, and then we're going to install all the gear, including the chiller and the UV sterilizer and the lights and the wave maker. The basic gist is this: I do kind of my aquascapes in a similar way, but I scape things differently depending on what the goal is going to be. So in this aquascape, I used a product called Cornerstone Reef Rock. It's a new product. It's very, very similar to a Carib Sea Life Rock, either the shapes, arches, the trees, very, very similar products, but I haven't used this one before, and so I'm giving it a shot. The basics of how I do an aquascape are the same. I was really lucky with this one because I had a lot of rock to choose from, and honestly, if you're going to build a scape, definitely want to have a ton of rock on hand. It just makes your life so much easier. But my understanding after talking with Felicia is that seahorses need areas to hang on to. So I'm aquascaping this thinking about having areas for seahorses to wrap their tails around. And then this is also a macroalgae tank. So I want a lot of areas that I can tuck macroalgae into. And on top of that, I also need a large area that's just empty. One, because the seahorses do a mating ritual every single morning, so they need a wide open space. And number two, because I want to plant different macros and seagrasses, maybe even a mangrove down the line. And I think this is a really good way of doing it. So I'm going to try to create something simple with a lot of places for seahorses to hang their tail on, and then a lot of empty space for the seahorses to do their dance. I set out all my tools and everything just in case I need them, but for this one I'm probably just going to be using the purple Coraline epoxy because I have some really good shapes already and I just need to stick a few things together. I always like to do a cardboard mock-up and break it into thirds so I can easily scape with the rule of thirds in mind. This isn't really a video on how to do it. I just kind of want to show you guys my process and what I ended up with. So here we go. I'm going to stop talking now. Enjoy my process of setting up the Seahorse aquascape, and then at the end of that, we will do the rest of the gear. I don't know. I don't know how many pounds this is, but I think it's probably too much. You know, I've never bought this sand before, but it's the dry version, not the wet version, and I think they say it's pre-rinsed, but honestly, I don't buy that for a second. The water's in, which is good. There's no more cracking. Remember that big chip that I took out? It seems to be totally fine. The biggest problem now, though, that I didn't even think about, is I need to prime the manifold line. Remember how I installed all that custom plumbing last time? And I have that external I have the external Reef Octopus Varios 4 pump that I did this really cool plumb job, but it's completely dry right now. And if I just flip the switch, it's not going to suck water out of here because it needs to be primed. So the question is how do I get water in there without creating a huge mess? And I think my best thing to do right now is to remove the input line from the back. Just kind of hold it down to the side and then just use an external MJ 1200 pump. And I have like some flexible tubing and just put it in there and fill it up as much as I can. This will also be a leak test because I haven't been able to leak test it yet. I think that's what I'm gonna try. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, we'll try something else. We will get water into that external inline pump for sure. It's working. It could totally be leaking down below. I have no idea. There, it's primed. Primed. See if I can get this in here without... got it. I think I got it. Oh, I think I got it. Oh my god, did I get it? I think I might have gotten it. Let's see if it's leaking. Please don't be leaking! Well, I don't know where we're leaking from, but there is a definite leak. So that sucks. Let me see if I can just... Maybe it just needs tightening. I'm assuming it's just from the pump. I think the leak is coming from right here. If I can't get it tightened, I'm gonna have to pull out the input line because it's just gonna keep draining the tank. So I'm gonna put the camera down here so I can focus on this. Okay, here's the problem. The problem is with the input line. This is leaking. So I had to come up here. I'm gonna have to reprime this line because if I left this in the water, it's just gonna keep using gravity in a siphon to pull all that water down. So that's no good. So give me a second here. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna have to undo this line, get a couple towels because it's gonna drain a ton of water down here. Probably gonna have to do something about this. So I'll be back. I think the biggest thing I forgot down there is, it's not that I forgot, I just didn't think it needed it, but, oh geez, sorry, there's water on here. I didn't put any plumber's tape around the input and output of the pump, so I think if I add that, screw it on really tight, and then try again, it should work. I mean, there's always a leak, right? And luckily I caught it, but man, I got a lot of water on the ground. Oh my god, Matthew, James, seriously. Come on, son. See this? This could have also been the problem. Look, this keeps popping out. Okay, take two. I put in the plumber's putty and I tightened it with a strap wrench. So if it's gonna leak right from there. So let's see, here we go. Ready? Please no leak, please no leak, please no leak. Ay, Dios mío. Okay, sorry, gotta get this all set up. Sorry, I didn't have it set up yet. My bad. Here we go. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when it's in, alright? No. Ah, I got it all over the floor. Ah, Ah, glad you guys can't see this right now. Salt water all over the freaking floor. Oh, God, Matthew, come on. Man, is it leaking? Water is going in. Is it leaking? Is it leaking? I don't know. Is it leaking? Is it leaking? Please don't be leaking. Here's the problem now. I primed the lines. All I had to do was open up this ball valve and this ball valve, and then gravity fed the line, right? So these are all full of water now. They're totally primed because of gravity. But look at this. That's the problem. So the problem is I was lazy and didn't put any plumber's tape here. And now the problem is when I take this off, all of this water that's in this tube is gonna come out. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna get a bucket and I'm gonna slide a bucket under here. This is gonna be trickier than I want it to be. And the problem is I can't get this to stay in place. Oh my goodness gracious. Come on! Yes! Got it. And I have drastically underestimated how much water is in here. More towels. It's draining this whole, anything gravity, so it's probably pulling out all the water from here. No, I shut these off. No, it fell back in, that's why. Shoot. Oh. No, the input line. The input line up top had fallen back in, so it was just pulling water from the tank. Oh, no. Okay, well, enough of that. I'm gonna, oh, now it's leaking out everywhere. Oh, it's all everywhere. Oh, crap. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. I need to clean this up. Bye. I think things are going just from bad to worse. I installed that plumber's tape here, and then I went to tighten it up, and I was using my hand, and then I just used the strap wrench. And my last turn of this, I was doing it hard, but I didn't think that hard. I heard a crack. So then I was like, okay, well, maybe I cracked the top of the Varios 4 pump, destroying a $300 pump. Great, right? So then I went to take it off, but then the same problem happened. When I went to screw off the union, it was screwing off the connector to the Varios 4 as well. So I'm just gonna fill it up, which I think is probably really stupid, and just see if it leaks. There's a chance that that cracking sound that I heard wasn't the output plastic portion of the Varios 4, but just the sound that the union makes when it squeaks. You guys know that? When you guys squeak it off sometimes, it makes that squeaking sound, so it could have been that. So I don't know, take 3, let's see if it leaks. I'm not gonna show you this because last time it leaked and then I had a huge headache, so I'm just gonna turn it off and I'll show you the final result if it works or if I have to order a new pump and start over again in like a week. I can't believe what I'm about to say, but the external inline plumb job is working. This is the input line right here. Check this out. And I had one problem. I had it, there's actually a baffle here, so water goes down the filter sock and then comes up this side. I had the input line on this side, but it was pulling water so fast that it was draining this chamber. So I had to actually move it to the next chamber over, which is connected all the way over to the return pumps and this side. And that seems to have stabilized. I didn't want to do that because the problem is, the output lines, especially the chiller line, runs into this large central chamber, and I'm worried that it's just going to keep pulling in cold water, you know, but I think it's far enough over here. The intake's on this side. The output lines have to pass by both return pumps, so I think that's going to be minimized. There's no leaking right now that I can tell, and it's running silently. All the air has gotten out. Let me show you down below real quick. Okay, I'm gonna turn the mic around here just so you can listen. I'm gonna put it right next to the pump, so you can listen how quiet it is. Okay, hold on. Are you ready? Turning the mic around. I mean, it's basically silent. I had a couple problems because I didn't plumb it quite correctly, you know, using that plumber's tape. But overall, it was a pretty good execution, even though I went through a whole bunch of towels. That's done. Now we need to move on to a few other things before we just let this tank settle in, cycle it, and add some macroalgae. Don't think I have a lot left to put on. That's the protein skimmer I bought, but I'm not going to install it unless I need it. So it's going to sit there. None of these lights are necessary. I think a lot of this stuff is for the tank. Yeah, my Neophos, but I don't need that. I don't think I'm going to ever need a heater. I did buy a new flipper, but I found an old one, so I don't need that. This is for my Wi-Fi outlets, but I'm not going to organize the wires yet today. Heater, lights. I did buy this NEM Protect. I think the only things I need to do are put on the gyre, which I'm going to attempt. Please don't fall in. The tricky thing is this is sugar fine sand, so it's going to blow around. So I'm going to see if I can set it low enough so that I get some good flow. Sorry, on the back side over there, so that it goes this way. And then I just have to install my lights, my Twin Star lights. And I think, oh, and then I'm going to get it cycling. Just going to use the Dr. Tim's method. And yeah, and then I think just need to figure out how to get my first macroalgae. If you have any suggestions, put a comment down below so I know what to get. Interesting. Well, there's really one problem with this light. I think it's because it's mainly used in Europe. This is the Twin Star 900. It's meant for 900 centimeters, I guess it is, which is supposed to be 36 inches, but it's just not quite. So when I set this up, that's where it sits. So it's like a ½ an inch too short. So I wouldn't recommend using this one, or I'd recommend using the pendant version. But luckily, this tank came with a glass lid, so I'm able just to set it up there, which works fine. I also bought this controller for it. It's separate. This is Nycrew, I think. It will, because these lights don't have any sort of programmability. It's just on or off. But if you buy this, which was $10 or $11, you can actually program different points. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm going to leave the lights off because I don't want all sorts of nuisance algae growth until my macro arrives. But I will be able to do a 30-minute ramp up and a 30-minute ramp down. So it will basically mirror my other tanks, except a much more freshwater looking light. Well, the good news is I have the XF330 Gyre set up. And I have it on the lunar cycle, and I have it set maximum of 40%, lowest of 20%. And so where I would expect to see sand movement, right here. And I'm seeing a little bit of sand movement right here, but that's not from the gyre. So I think 40% is definitely low enough. I might put that up a little bit higher. The only other thing I think I want to do today, because I don't have my auto top off yet, I'm just going to put a 5-gallon bucket under here, and then I have a Reef Breeders auto top off unit for the back, is I want to power these on. I want to power on both the chiller and the UV sterilizer. Water is already running through them and there's no leaks, so that's good. But I want to see how much this chiller has to stay on to keep the temperature 72 to 74, because the problem is going to be I can't keep this closed right now because it's just going to overheat. So I think I'm going to have to install a fan up here, maybe a fan up here and a fan over here, one of those cabinet fans. So I want to get them on. I want to see what the temperature is and hear how loud it is because I've never run a chiller before. So let's turn that on and see how it goes. It's really easy to set. It's 78.8 the water temperature right now, but I set it for 74. I just had to hold down the up button. It hasn't kicked on yet, but I'm going to turn you around here. Water's going through it, and it's going through at, I have no idea what the pace is, because right now I have the Reef Octopus Virus 4 set at eco mode, which is low, and I'm going to have to do some thinking as to, first of all, I don't even remember how many gallons per hour this thing needs, and I'm assuming right now it's getting something like 200 gallons per hour, but that's a total guess. So I'm gonna have to play around with that. And then UV sterilizer as well. I have no idea. So I'll do some math on that later, but I really just want to see how loud this is. I'm a little unsure why it hasn't kicked on yet, and there's no way this is on because it's completely silent. So I'm gonna sit here for a little bit and I'll come back if it turns on. Okay, there it goes. It's turned around. The mic's on me right now, so let me turn the mic around so you can hear it, okay? It's actually not too loud. It's definitely cooling. It's been 30 minutes, not quite 30 minutes of being on, maybe 20 minutes, and it's gone from 78.8 to 78.2, and I have the Varios 4 set at whatever, normal, number 3, and the Varios 4 is a 1,000 gallon per hour pump, and it's not going to lose much head pressure because it's in line, so the pressure coming down and the pressure going up and the water being completely full means it's not really going to lose a lot of head pressure. So let me just show you some shots of the tank, how all the equipment looks, knowing, of course, everybody, that I'm going to be organizing all these wires on Wi-Fi strips at a later date. I really wanted to plug everything in now to make sure that my electricity, that my breaker wouldn't like pop out. So